I'm just trying to ground myself before I talk about this. So traumatic, so insane. It's like, how do you even say this? Oh my god. A dog ran in front of my car yesterday while I was on the highway. Obviously, I did not have time to slow down or stop. Did not have time to pull over. Obviously, once I realized that we hit him, I was able to pull over to the side. This story actually goes like 3 months back. I think it was like 2 or 3 months. I struggle with dissociation and time and events, but I remember that there wasn't any snow on the ground. I'm pretty sure it was like springtime, so around then when the weather was starting to get nice. So anyways, the first time this happened, it was actually a different dog. It was a bigger, older black lab, I'm pretty sure, and he was in the middle of the highway, and I think I was turning onto it from like the carpooling area. I was able to pull over to the side where their house is, pull over to the shoulder and kind of make like a U-ey around to where their house was. And thank God I got the dog's attention, like my car pulling over to their house, and the dog kind of followed me and was out of the road. So I was blaring on my horn trying to get the owner's attention. I didn't want to get out of the car. I was just bit by a dog like last year and had to get like a tetanus shot or like rabies or whatever you get for a dog. I think it's rabies, whatever. So the owner finally comes out after I'm honking on my horn for what seems like probably 2 minutes straight. It wasn't even the owner that came out, it was some guy. And I'm upset. Like, why is your dog in the middle of a highway? It's a country road highway, don't get me wrong. It's not like a 4-lane, 3-lane, whatever, but it's still a highway. People go, I'm pretty sure the speed limit is 80 for that road, but people go over 100. Like, so I'm mad, I'm upset, and I'm like, is this your dog? And I know it is because I saw it come out from that property. Is this your dog? Oh, I'm not the owner, but like she lives here, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you guys need to have your dog on a leash. Like, you guys live near a very busy highway, 2 major highways that they actually live by, the country one and then an actual bigger lane one, which a dog could literally get there in less than 1 minute. If they're running, less. They're right beside 2 major highways like this. They're the corner lot. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. You guys need to have your dog on a leash. You need to be watching your dog. I said these exact words. Your dog is going to get hit by a car. Fast forward to yesterday, a different dog. The only reason I left my house was because my brother's car broke down. Crazy day. My brother's car broke down. He needed me last minute to come. I was going to stay home all day and just keep working. It was already getting later, so he calls me, he needs me, I go. So we're on the way back home, driving down the highway, same house, same spot. Dog comes running in the middle of the road. Obviously on a highway, I didn't have time to stop, I didn't have time to swerve, I didn't have time to pull over. I was trying my, like, when I saw him, it was already too late. He was right in front, and I was going too fast. It's a highway. This poor dog. So we hit the dog, and I pull over, and I'm screaming, call 911. I'm freaking out. Call 911. Call 911. And he's like, actually? I'm like, call 911. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Call 911. 911 dispatcher puts us on the call with police. She's still talking to us, and then obviously she could hear like the owner in the background screaming, crying. Oh my god, it's so terrible. So the dispatcher's like, is she yelling at you? And I'm like, no, she's just in distress, which understandably so, but like, oh my god. So she's now in the middle of the road hugging her dog, and I was so scared her dog was dead, but then the dog's head was moving, and I was like, thank God. And it was a bigger dog, so obviously it's a terrible situation, but a bigger dog obviously has a way better chance than like a little dog. Like, if it was a little dog, like, I drive a Jeep. It's a big car. It's a heavy car. So if it was a little dog, I don't think there would have been any chance. Thank God it was a bigger dog. And the way that the dog was positioned, he was mostly in front. So I'm hoping he didn't really get run over too bad. I think it was more so like the back end of his body. There was no blood, there was nothing crazy like that, so I'm really, really hoping he's gonna be okay. Just so terrifying, so traumatic, anyone who knows me knows I'm vegan for the animals. Like, they are my top priority, always, even above myself sometimes. Like, I love animals. I do not want any harm done to them, especially not by me. I really, really hope that dog is going to be okay, but I'm furious. I am furious. Like I mentioned, this exact same situation happened 2 or 3 months ago, but thank God the dog didn't get hit then. So fast forward to yesterday, this is a completely different dog. How many dogs do these people have? How many dogs are they neglecting to look out for? How many dogs are they neglecting to have on a leash near 2 major highways? Like, I'm just so furious that clearly this is something that has been happening repetitively, because the first guy a few months ago acknowledged that and said that they are never leashed up. And even a sign by their house says, dogs off leash. Oh my God. Dogs off leash, honk when you're driving in or something. I have a picture, so I'll put it. There's no gate. Their house has a gate, but it's like a horse gate. Like, even a freaking horse could jump over that, and a dog can slip through that easily. Their actual driveway, no gate. Completely open, which is how the dog got onto the road. Just terrible. So after this happened, the lady was obviously having a very hard time. She took her dog. Other people were pulling over to the side of the road to try to help. Thank God, traffic was like basically stopped. She picks up her dog and she gets in the back of a stranger's truck, like in the bed of a truck, not in the back seat, like in the bed of the truck on the highway, which obviously, like, it's an emergency, you're in fight or flight. Definitely understand that, but holy crap, just like a very crazy situation. Then the 911 dispatcher said that I didn't have to stay because there was no damage to my car and the dog was already being taken to the vet. So me and my brother pulled over, and that's when we got the pictures. As we were taking pictures of everything, and I think I actually took a video as well, I don't remember. Literally was dissociating so hard. Two people from that house that also lived there actually came out, and I told them that this has happened before and this is not okay. And I was very upset, obviously. Like, now I, an animal lover, had to go through something so tragic involving hopefully not the loss of an animal due to owner neglect. I'm at a loss for words. Like, clearly having them off leash is intentional if they have signs around, and if you know that your dog is wandering in the road, and if you live by 2 major highways, that's no place for your dog to be off leash. And where I live is not in a major city. I do live on the outskirts of a city, so there is a lot of property where I live. Completely understand wanting to let your dogs roam free, but do so on a leash that is measured accordingly so that they cannot reach the road. Like, there's just so much wrong here. And my brother said that the dog already had a cast on, and the lady, when she was in the middle of the road with her dog, was saying, I hurt you, or something like that. And I was like, what is going on? Like, all signs are just pointing to neglect. Like, clearly this is something that has happened before with me, so how many times has it happened with other people? Like, it's just so infuriating to me that it has to come to this for people to take their animals seriously. And it's sad to say, but I don't think that they're even going to take it seriously, because clearly this is just what they do. This is like, it's intentional because they've put a sign up that says dogs off leash. I have contacted the Ontario like animal welfare line, but even they weren't extremely helpful. She was asking me for like my information and for the address of their house, which I had, for the name of the owner, which I also had, and that was it. Like, that is all they asked me for. And I said, like, can I give additional details about like what happened? And they're like, oh well, I don't know what it's called, like, not an officer, but like the inspector, I guess, is gonna like check on their welfare. This is what she said: the inspector will call you if they have any additional questions. What? I didn't even get to explain the situation. I didn't even get to like say that this has been happening like continuously. So it's like, for an animal welfare line to not even want to hear the full situation is just insane. I can't. And this is like something I've been thinking about with animals too, because like I said, I live in like the country. There's a lot more animals here. And we've actually had like issues of like animals like getting into our house, like bats, for example. One time I had literally had to, 2 times, maybe 3. One time I had to scoop a bat with a towel and put it outside. Another time it was like hiding in a crack of our table. So I had to like put a container over it and try to like get it out, and it was like showing its teeth at us and stuff. But I didn't know if it was injured or not. I tried finding like resources, but there was no one to help. I'm also a part of like groups on Facebook that are for like animal welfare, and like if there's injured animals, like helping them and stuff, like try to connect you with like sanctuaries. And like it's crazy, like sanctuaries that are like their sole responsibility is to like take in animals and stuff like that. They sometimes aren't even able to like take bats, take birds, take rabbits. Like the disregard that we have as a society for animals is concerning, to say the least. Like it is heartbreaking. It really is just part of a bigger issue as society. We don't see animals as equals, and we see them as less than somehow, but it's not okay. Like they are still a living being. They still are a soul. They're still a beautiful addition to this planet, and it just breaks my heart that we don't value them as much as we should as a society. And it really, really sucks that things like this have to happen. And as traumatic as it was, I am glad that it happened to me, because I have experience with the same owners in a similar situation. So hopefully animal welfare will be able to do something and check in on them. Apparently there is a bylaw in this area where your dogs are supposed to be leashed. So I'm also going to be looking into that. But just insane. Absolutely insane. It is not okay at all. And we really need to do better as a society. A huge reason I also wanted to make this video was to like spread the word, I guess. Like if you have a pet or you know somebody who has a pet, please make sure they are leashed, especially if you live near a major highway, busy streets. Please, please, please make sure that your animals are on a leash. Please make sure that you're checking in on them, that they're not unsupervised, and just really look out for them to the best of your abilities. And I totally get that accidents can happen, but when something happens repeatedly and you're choosing to ignore it and not do better for your own animals, that's no longer a mistake. And like that's why I'm really mad. I was too dissociated to film this yesterday, and like even just talking about it, it's like even more dissociation. But I really wanted to say something, because like it's not okay the way we disregard the lives of animals. We need to watch out for them, you know? If we're not going to do it, who else will? So it is our responsibility to care for animals, especially if it's a pet that you brought into your life to better your own life or to be a companion. The least you can do is watch out for their safety, watch out for their well-being and health. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Please, please, please share this message with anyone you know that has a dog. It's just a terrible situation. I would love to hear if anybody has any more resources that I should be calling, similar to like the OSPCA or something to do with like the pet bylaw. Please do let me know, because I don't own pets, so I'm not very familiar with how these things work. Please comment some resources or advice, or if you've been in a similar situation, how did you handle this? Like anything and everything, feel free to comment below. Feel free to DM me. And yeah, I want animals to be okay, and I want humans to be okay. And what happened was just clearly neglect, and it's not okay. And I had to share. So thank you for being here. I am going to be making much more uplifting, better videos in the future. It sucks that this has to be my first video, but it's so, so important. I had to talk about it because I had to get off my chest and hopefully bring some sort of awareness so that this doesn't ever happen to anyone else ever again. Anyways, thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you in the future. Bye.